So students, finally we'll discuss the velocity of the forced oscillator in today's class. Okay, and maybe tomorrow we'll discuss the rest and finish off with our forced vibration to start off with optics. But these are which are important. Okay, so for amplitude displacement and amplitude resonance, we have observed what we see. Same thing we can see for the velocity of a forced oscillator. So so first we have to derive an expression for the velocity of a forced oscillator, and then we will discuss the variation of velocity amplitude with driving force frequency and show its behavior graphically, and that it is stiffness controlled at low frequency whereas it is mass controlled at high frequency, and the corresponding explanation of velocity resonance we will be discussing now, okay, in this video. All right, so for velocity of a forced oscillator, if we try to find out the velocity of a forced oscillator, well, we have to start from here. Y is equal to, as you know, it is equal to minus IF by omega Zm. This is the master equation from where we had started. I omega t minus phi, isn't it? So you take, say, the real part. Okay, so when the driving force, so just take the real part of displacement. So taking the real parts of displacement, the real parts of displacement and driving force frequency, taking the real part of displacement and driving force frequency. What do we get if we take the real part of displacement and driving force frequency? Then, well, y for the real part of displacement, y is equal to f0 by omega Zm sine of omega t minus phi. Since we are trying to find out the velocity of a forced oscillator, we will calculate the velocity. Therefore, the velocity v is equal to dy dt. It is equal to dy dt. Okay, so that is equal to what? It is equal to f0 by omega Zm omega cos of omega t minus phi, isn't it? So that is what we get. Okay, so omegas cancel, this omega will cancel with this omega, and so what will we get for our velocity? For our velocity we will get v equal to f0 by Zm cos of omega t minus phi. So what is the amplitude v0 equal to? v0 cos of omega t minus phi, where v0 is equal to f0 by Zm. Okay, v0 is equal to f0 by Zm. All right, now this whole thing we can write v as equal to v0 sine of omega t minus phi plus pi by 2. Now what is the corresponding real part of the driving force? The corresponding real part of the driving force is what? It is F is equal to F0 sine of omega t minus phi. Okay, so what is it that we find? The velocity leads the displacement by a phase angle of pi by 2, isn't it? So if we do not compare with the externally applied periodic force, if we just compare with y, so comparing V with y, what do we get? Well, the V leads y by pi by 2, isn't it? That's what we see. Okay, now the corresponding driving force, okay, the corresponding driving force is F naught. The real part of the driving force is part of the driving force the real part of the driving force is what? F naught sine of omega t, isn't it? F is equal to F naught sine of omega t. Okay, so what do we see over here? F is equal to F naught sine of omega t. Okay, that is the real part of the driving force. So, well, when the driving force is F equal to F naught sine of omega t, the displacement y, corresponding real part of the displacement, is given by what? Y is equal to F naught by omega Zm cos of omega t minus phi, isn't it? That is our displacement, isn't it? Okay, and what is velocity? The corresponding velocity that we get, V is equal to F naught by Zm sine of omega t minus phi, which is equal to, yes, it will be equal to what? It will be equal to, V will be equal to, so V will be equal to V0 cos of omega t minus phi plus pi by 2. Okay, so that is it that we get. So where V0 is equal to F0 by m. So now if you compare all three, okay, we again find that the velocity always leads the displacement by a phase angle of pi by 2. Okay, so that's what we find. However, if you compare this velocity with the driving force F, you will see that the velocity lags the driving force. So if you compare, you will see that the velocity leads the displacement by pi by 2, but the velocity lags the driving force by a phase angle of phi. Okay, now if you try to study the variation of the amplitude of velocity, the velocity amplitude with driving force frequency, okay, what is the amplitude of the velocity? The amplitude of the velocity is, this is the amplitude of velocity. So we will study three cases of the amplitude of velocity. Okay, so what is it? The amplitude of velocity, this is equal to F0, this is Zm, isn't it? F0 divided by square root of r square plus omega m minus s by omega whole square, isn't it? All right, so here omega m minus x by omega, we can call it as xm. All right, so you see, therefore, if you consider three cases, all right, low frequency, number one. For low frequency, you can show, well, according to this equation, for low frequency, All right. So this part, it has two parts, two components, omega m and s by omega. So for low frequency, this one will be a large quantity. Okay. So in such a case, the impedance Zm will depend upon S and is said to be stiffness controlled. So this is Zm. At low frequency, this will dominate. This will be 0. So it is stiffness controlled then, isn't it? So for low frequency, when omega goes to 0, m omega goes to 0, so S by omega will go to infinity. You can show that Zm is equal to r square plus s square by omega square. Okay, square root of r square plus s square by omega square. So for low damping, if you can neglect this term, this is nearly equal to s by omega. Now as s by omega is a very large quantity, you just neglect r for low damping. So your V0 will be equal to F0 omega by S, because it is equal to F0 by Zm. So it is equal to F0 omega by S. Okay. So when omega goes to 0, for omega going to 0, V0, the amplitude goes to 0. Okay. So what happens at high frequency number 2? High frequency. At high frequency, you can show that when omega goes to infinity, okay, m omega now goes to infinity, but s by omega and s by omega goes to 0. Omega goes to infinity, m omega goes to infinity, but s by omega will go to 0. And you can show that Zm is equal to m omega. Again, for the using the same logic, that damping is small, so it can be neglected. Okay, so that your V0, which is equal to F0 by Zm, is equal to F0 by m omega. So when omega goes to infinity, again V0 goes to 0. Okay. So what happens therefore, this is the question that you get at resonant frequency. You might ask to explain all three cases, but in most of the cases you get these as your short note. Okay, resonant frequency, which you called velocity resonance. Okay, resonant frequency, which is usually called velocity resonance. Okay, what happens over there? Well, your m omega naught is equal to s by omega naught, isn't it? Omega equal to omega naught, if you do, m omega naught is equal to, because you substitute for omega naught, then m omega naught is equal to s by omega naught. So then what happens? Your reactance xm is equal to 0. So Zm has its minimum value given by R. So Zm then is equal to R. So it is a real quantity with 0 reactance. At this frequency, the velocity amplitude has its maximum. What is it? So the velocity amplitude V0, which is equal to F0 by Zm, is equal to F0 by R. Okay, so this is the value that you get at velocity resonance. Okay, so at frequency of velocity resonance, the velocity amplitude depends upon the driving force F0 and the resistive force per unit length, resisting force per unit velocity. Okay, so it is independent of frequency at velocity resonance. So velocity resonance occurs at natural frequency of the oscillator, where omega is equal to omega naught, which is equal to S by M. Okay, so what is that you have to show yourself for your assignment, that velocity resonance occurs for omega equal to omega naught. Show that velocity resonance occurs at omega equal to omega naught. Okay, so at omega equal to omega naught, what happens? So this you have to show. This you have to show that the frequency omega is equal to omega naught, which is equal to square root of S by M. How will you show it? You can show this by taking dZm d omega, start with dZm d omega equal to 0. If you do that, you can show immediately this is happening. So graphically, if you draw the velocity resonance, this is how it occurs. Okay, see, this is your velocity, this is your frequency. So the less the r, the sharper the velocity. Okay, the more the r, the resonance frequency, the sharpness decreases. Okay, the sharpness decreases. Sorry. So this occurs at a value for, say, this is your R1, this is your R2, R1 greater than R2. So sharpness increases with the decrease in the value of R, the damping frequency. Okay, all right. So this is all that you have to discuss in your short note, and you can also discuss the corresponding phases when if you get it in your exam. Let's stop over here. It's a pretty long video. Okay.